Hello there beautiful, welcome back to my channel. My name is Joesephyr and today I'm going to take you guys through an update to where the channel is, where it's going, some changes that I'm looking at making for the channel, and basically just tell you guys where we're at the end of 2021. It's been a bit of a roller coaster this year, as was last year, with developments happening on Twitch a lot, another game coming into the fray for me as a big deal, as well as Dissidia Final Fantasy Opera Omnia. In Final Fantasy 14, we've done loads of charity work, all sorts of other things. So if you'd like to join me in taking a quick look back at what we've done over the course of this year, and then having a look forward as to what we're going to be doing in 2022, then of course, as always, stay tuned and keep on watching. Of course, before we get started, don't forget to check out all of my social media links down below. I know you guys are sick of me saying it, but it is something that we YouTubers do because we want to encourage engagement with all of our social platforms. And of course, I cannot go through this video without giving a massive thank you to each and every one of you guys who watches my channel, who supports me over on Twitch, who comes and just clicks on one of my things, no matter where it is, because without you guys, I wouldn't be able to do what I do. And I'm looking at growing even further in 2022 in multiple facets, and without your guys' support, I wouldn't be able to do that. So from the bottom of my heart, thank you. And of course, I can't thank anyone more than my patrons, who I'm not going to shout at anyone specific today because I want to shout out all of my patrons, because without you guys, I wouldn't be able to do this full time. I wouldn't be able to do this and sort of invest more heavily into it. You guys have really believed in me and I cannot thank you enough for it. And I really hope that I can continue to make you guys proud going into 2022. Whether you're a viewer, a subscriber, a patron, no matter who you are, I just want to make you guys proud going forward. And I really hope that I can do that. So before we get into the plans of what was going to be happening in 2022, let's take a quick look at the things that we've accomplished together in 2021, because it has been a crazy year for growth for me over on Twitch primarily, as well as YouTube. So first things first, we did a huge charity drive at the start of the year where I played Chrono Trigger for the first time, and we played that for a 12-hour marathon. It actually ended up being a 19-hour marathon for COVID-19, so that we could raise money for people who've been affected by it. And we did another charity drive where I did an FF14 marathon where I leveled my ninja in rainbow garb to raise money for Mind Out UK, which is an LGBTQ+ charity. And it was incredible to get as much support as I did from you guys, as across all of the charities that we've raised money for this year, we've raised over £5,000 for charity. So for anyone who donated to any one of the causes that we went to this year, huge thank you. And I got a letter from British Red Cross saying that we'd been one of the the top fundraisers for them this year, which honestly brought a tear to my eye. It's been incredible to be able to use this platform for something really positive, so a massive thank you for those of you who've helped me do that. It really does mean a lot to me. Not only that, but we got featured on a campaign for Final Fantasy 14 as well, which is something I've been working really hard at doing over on Twitch, and I plan to bring more to over on YouTube, which I'll talk about in just a moment. But we got featured on that as well, which was crazy. We got to open ourselves up to a brand new audience, and we've gotten a lot of followers for Final Fantasy 14 as well as Dissidia Final Fantasy Opera Omnia. So a massive thank you goes out to Square Enix, not just for that, but for helping support me throughout all of this. Like, since leaving there at the beginning of 2020, they've been extremely supportive, and I cannot thank them enough. And obviously you guys as well for being a part of that journey. So this year's been pretty crazy in general. We've done painting giveaways, we've done all sorts of crazy stuff. I haven't been able to do quizzes or anything at the end of this year like I did last year, because it's been more of a treadmill to keep up with when it comes to Dissidia. Like, I know that those of you that play it have noticed the way that everything's kind of ramped up, like in content, the fact that everything's coming at us harder and faster. There's a lot more to talk about when it comes to characters when they get re-released. There's a lot of stuff going on with that, and I plan to address that in 2022 by adding some more consistency to the way that I make videos. So now let's talk about the elephant in the room when it comes to this channel, which is Dissidia Final Fantasy Opera Omnia. Now, I know that a lot of people who watch me now, same as they did last year, have noticed the fact that I don't feel quite as passionately about Dissidia as I did a year ago. As a matter of fact, somebody on my Discord sent me a link to a video I had that was from years ago, like a good couple of years ago now, where I was reacting to my pulls for, I believe it was Kuja 35 CP, and I just saw it and how excited I was, and I thought, wow, what a difference it is between then and now, and it just kind of doesn't feel the same to me. I still really liked the game, and I do want to put that out there. Am I a bit disappointed in the direction that it's going in? Yes, but that doesn't mean that I don't still like the game and I don't still want to support it. But I've also spoken very, very heavily in my videos over the last few months about wanting to diversify my content, wanting to work more on Final Fantasy XIV because it's a game I feel super passionate about, and with the release of Endwalker, I've already released a video about how the game has changed my life, and I meant every word of it, and I've not been able to do that because having to be able to commit to that promise is really difficult because of the roadblocks that are presented by the schedule that I have on my channel because of Dissidia Final Fantasy. So, to give you guys a rundown of why that might be the case, my videos for Dissidia are very numerous. So it means that any other videos that I do will just disappear into the crowd. Say I release 4 or 5 videos for Dissidia in a week and then a Final Fantasy XIV video. By the time that videos come out, another load of videos will come out and no one's ever going to be able to discover it. And my videos also take a long time to make. Like my Should You Pull videos, I do take a long time on them. And even the videos that are taken from my Twitch streams, I edit them, I play around with them, I try and toy with them here, there and everywhere. It does take a large amount of time. So finding the time to fit in any other content with the way that my current scheduling is straight up impossible. And because Dissidia's sporadic scheduling is so irritating to me as a content creator, and I'm sure not just to me but to everybody who plays it as well, it makes my uploads look really inconsistent and untimely. And like there have been times where I've had to rush to get a video out because, like within a day of release of an event because we didn't know it was coming, or even after the event, which makes me feel like I'm letting people down. And it also means that there's some weeks where I release like 5 videos a week on Dissidia, and then others where there's only 1 or 2. And I'm sure that a lot of you would like appreciate a level of consistency to my videos so that everyone was aware of when a video was coming so they could go, oh, I know Joesephyr going to be live today, like let's go and take a look at that. And for the above like reasons and many others, I have a couple of solutions that I would like to explore going forward into 2022 with regards to Dissidia videos. So instead of releasing a video, Should You Pull video every sort of couple of days before an event goes live, and then releasing a video every time I clear an event, I'm actually thinking about consolidating the videos that I have now into 2 solid videos released on the same day every week so that everyone knows when they're coming. So one video which I aim to release on Tuesdays should be a Should You Pull video, which instead of being aimed at one banner will feature everything that's coming that week to Dissidia so that we've all got that kind of consistency going, oh okay, well I know what's coming up in the next week. I want to pull on this one, maybe not this one. And then the other video, which would be hopefully released on every Friday, would consolidate all of the pulls that people want to see from me, because I know a lot of people really enjoy pull videos for that week, as well as a highlight of gameplay content, whether it be a DE clear or a particularly nasty Lufenia or something like that, because I currently feel that with the game taking a direction where it's significantly easier to beat everything, posting every event as it releases kind of feels superfluous at this point, particularly because I do already stream the content as it comes out, and the video on demands are always available over on Twitch, and I can always link those from my YouTube to that, because hopefully it'll actually get people to come and look at my Twitch as well if they didn't already. So I just think that having just Tuesdays, Fridays, it just makes it so much easier for both me as a content creator and you as a viewer, because you'll be able to know when stuff is coming. And then this also allows for a more consistent approach to Would You Pull for my patrons and stuff, because I can post the polls on the same day every week, so that everyone knows when that's coming. They know when they can vote on stuff. There's no rushing around and trying to get that done. And then that way we'll get a much wider selection of votes, because there have been people that have said, oh, I haven't been able to vote yet, I haven't been able to make my comments yet, because obviously, again, if Dissidia releases an event like a day after something else where we didn't know it was coming, then I then have to give time for my patrons to make their votes and their comments before I can then post the video, and then therefore everything is delayed that little bit much more. But I want to make sure that my patrons, as people who support the channel as much as they do, get their say in things, because I think it's really important that they do. So therefore, it just makes sense to make it that much more consistent. One of the things I will say about Dissidia that's happened that's been great in this last year is the meetup that we did earlier in this year, and it was fantastic. Like, we got a really good attendance. We weren't really sure what was going to happen because obviously COVID restrictions were still in place and everyone was still wearing masks, and they still are, and they should be. But in the new year, I hope that things are as safer, like even safer than they are now, and like Omicron kind of goes away a little bit, so we can all feel a bit safer again, so that we can do something similar again. Because one of the things I loved about doing that was being able to put faces to names, and that's one of the things that I really want to do next year. Is I kind of want to see people, like see real people, and you know, get to know some of you guys that have come to see me on the internet, and then come and see you guys in real life. You know, there's hopefully events start to open up again, but with the way things are with COVID, etc., we just don't know how that's going to go. But honestly, it's one of my deepest hopes that we get to see each other in real life going forward. The main goal of this, of course, is to provide the same level of information and camaraderie between you, the viewer, and me, the creator. Just trying to make sure that we keep that level of community, keep that level of information, make sure everything doesn't feel like it's less than what I'm doing currently. It's just put into fewer videos to like gain consistency, and also the ability for me to provide content for other things, namely Final Fantasy XIV as a predominant sort of focal point going into 2022. I know there are a lot of players who play Dissidia that do play 14. I also know that there are a lot of people who follow me that don't play FF14, and therefore I want to cater to both of those kind of demographics and not reduce the amount of information that I'm giving out for Dissidia, and still putting the work in. If anything, it's actually going to be harder work for me to get everything in all at once, but I want to make sure that I'm allowing for the channel to grow in the best possible way. So now let's talk about the other elephant that's in the room, Final Fantasy XIV. Now, I have been talking about doing Final Fantasy XIV on my channel for literal months. I've actually been streaming Final Fantasy XIV since I started streaming properly back in March 2020 when lockdown first hit. And I got my Twitch kind of recap thing that happened earlier this month, and interestingly, my top game for streaming this year was not Dissidia Final Fantasy Opera Omnia, but Final Fantasy XIV, which I was honestly really overjoyed to see. I can see why it might be the case, because we have, you know, the Twitch campaign that we had earlier in the year. People have been slowly discovering me on FF14, and I'm really happy about it because it's a really big game. It's something that's got a lot of scope for growth. It's something that I feel very passionately about, especially after Endwalker. And, you know, you may have seen that I've asked around and with questionnaires asked on my streams, even when I've been doing Dissidia and stuff, to see what kind of content people would like to see that perhaps they're not already seeing. Because while I want to talk about the things I want to talk about, I also want to talk about the things that you guys want me to talk about, because hopefully somewhere in the middle, we'll meet in the middle and I'll talk about the things that we want me to talk about. And the large majority of people who commented on the questionnaire and stuff, massive thank you to you if you did. We got loads of responses, so that was really, really positive as well, because it shows that people actually care about it, and people kind of just want to see what my thoughts and feelings on the game as a whole are. So whether it's the story or the content or glamours or housing or anything like that, people just kind of want to see that. And also people want information and guides that are aimed at neither beginners nor veterans, but the midsection in between them, because a lot of people feel that information, and this includes me by the way, like whenever I've gone looking for content for 14, I've definitely found this. It's either presented for, this is for beginners, you're new to the game, this is what you need to do, or this is the mechanics for the newest extreme content, this is this, and this, and you're expected to know everything about the game already. Whereas people looking to level up into that higher level content, there isn't quite so much available, and that actually works out really well for me, as it gives me drive to learn about the intricacies of the game. Like, I've been leveling up my own gameplay for 14 for months now, and if you've been following me on 14, the difference in my gameplay from a year ago till now is night and day. Like, I am currently up to date with everything. My EXs are done, my raids are done, everything is done, and, you know, wanting to develop the community to kind of discover things at the same way that I did, it's a passion that I feel, not only for the game, but for wanting to just talk to people and be around other people who want the same things that I do. So to have that would feel like a culmination of everything I've learned from 14, from the beginning of 2020 up until now. So for those of you who are already supporting my Final Fantasy 14 content, thank you very, very much. And for those of you who perhaps haven't looked at my Final Fantasy XIV content but do already play the game, do let me know the kinds of things that you want to see. And for those of you who follow me exclusively for Dissidia content, I want to reassure you that while I am taking a bit more time to do 14 content, I'm not abandoning Dissidia. The content is still going to be there. It's just the same as it is now. It's just going to be consolidated in the way in which I present it. Now, the last thing I want to talk about is Final Fantasy Count Up. Now, Final Fantasy Count Up is something I started at the beginning or the end of 2020, and we're now up to the end of 2021, and I was hoping to kind of get through it quickly so that we'd have them all finished by the time FF16 came out. That's looking less likely now, but the reason that I stopped doing Final Fantasy Count Up for a long while is after Final Fantasy V, the pixel remasters were starting to come out, and I thought, oh, I'll wait until FF6 comes out, and then we'll go with that, and we can play something new, because I haven't played FF6 in many, many years, and having the pixel remaster will be great. Hopefully, because 1, 2, 3, and 4 have come out so quickly, it won't take so long for 6 to come out. Well, it's turned out that 6 has taken quite a while to come out, and it's now not coming out until February, so hopefully once that comes out, we'll kick it all back off again. I know I was a bit lax about stuff, but I am actually learning more about editing my Twitch streams into content for YouTube, because I don't think I did a particularly good job of it to begin with. But I hope that you guys enjoy the Count Up, and it's something that I do aim to get back on track with as soon as 6 Pixel Remaster comes out. But again, I was under the impression that people didn't really care about the Final Fantasy Count Up, judging by the way the views went and things like that over on YouTube itself. But do comment below and let me know how you would improve it. Like, tell me what sort of things you'd want to see from it, or whether it's something you just don't care about at all. Because obviously all my efforts have to go into certain areas, and there's only 24 hours in a day, so I can work the hardest that I can in multiple facets, but I need to, I would like to know, again, what kinds of things you want to see, because I have so many ideas I can't put them all down at once. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Thank you very much for listening. I hope that all of this has given you some insight into the plans I have going into 2022. And I really do hope that you guys continue to stick around and see where we go from here. Is it all a bit of a risk for me to sort of make my content into fewer videos? A little bit, yeah, it is a bit of a risk. And am I diving into unknown territory? Yeah, and that's also kind of scary. But it's also really exciting. It's something that I've been wanting to flex my creative muscles again for the longest time, and with things going the way they are, consistency is key, and I really wanted to hammer that home, because then I can plan my time, you guys can plan yours if you're wanting to join me for any of the stuff that I'm doing, or even if you're only wanting to join me for little bits and pieces. If you are just here for Dissidia, then at least you'll know what to expect and when to expect it. So thank you all very much for watching. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and click the bell for notification of future videos I might be making, whether it be for Dissidia, FF14, FF Count Up, or any other sorts of things that I might pop up in the future as well. I just wanted to let you guys know how it was all going to go, and I hope you guys stick around and enjoy things, and we get to chat more and all of that good stuff. So thank you again, and I'll see you soon. Happy New Year, everybody. Bye bye.